Hey guys, yeah, I know this one's late. Sorry about that. I wanted to take it easy a lot today. Um, but so I want to start this review by talking about the pacing of this episode because honestly, just as a whole, I had forgotten just how lengthy this backstory was, and although we are pretty much reaching the climax of this little flashback, like more than likely within the next episode it'll be over. I do have to say how the anime is pacing this backstory is odd to say the least, because in a lot of aspects, just by the fact that it is a manga to anime adaptation, it is weirdly better than the manga, just in how it's being paced and getting across so much just within a single episode. But at the same time, as a whole, also kind of just as bad, because there are still those moments in each episode that do kind of slow the pacing. And for as much as I like the backstory, I think I did kind of go into this like backstory segment with the expectation that the anime would be able to speed up the pace of this content just a little bit more and adapt more chapters per episode. But I will say, for what we have gotten in these past couple episodes with this backstory and the pace they are still going at it with, this section does overall still feel a lot less sluggish than when I read the manga. When I was reading the manga, like all the chapters were already released, but when I was reading this segment, particularly in the manga, it was still weirdly sluggish to read. Like it felt like I was just kind of it felt largely like I was just there were emotional moments I was attached to in this backstory, but it did feel like I was kind of just slogging through it as well. But here it feels like a lot less of one. Um, um, which which on that note it does which on that note, there's not really a whole lot to talk about with this episode, as it was really just setting the stage for the climax of this backstory. And yeah, we see this as the episode that, well, you can kind of tell what's going to happen to Masamune from here. Like Masamune beyond this point is one dead spirit cat, which is kind of, I know, kind of ironic to say, like he's already dead, but yeah, he's about to experience a second death. Like all signs point towards Masamune sacrificing himself to save Anna. And honestly, on top of Masamune being one of those characters that I don't want to see go, but it is nice how in the short time we got to know him, he definitely left his mark. And I do like how we start to see pieces form together about how his sacrifice has kept has been kept as kind of motivation for both Anna and Yo going forward. But with Anna especially, like you can again, you can tell where this is going. Like the shock of Masamune like dying a second time, or raising up into the spirit world, or whatever happens here, like that kind of a shock to Anna's system is going to set, like, pretty much set the stage for a lot of what Anna has become in the present, and how that sacrifice set into stage Anna's whole belief of not letting her curse and its influence rule her, instead learning to gain control over it, so it can't hurt anyone ever again. Like this whole thing was this whole like backstory is set up in the sense where Matamune's dying is left Anna with some sense of guilt in the present in order to stop any death like Matamune's from happening. With that said, the episode starts off immediately with a dead as fuck awkward silence between Anna and Yo watching a concert on TV, which I love because up to this point, a lot of the situations involving Anna and Yo have been like high stress where emotions run deep, and you can never really tell what either of them really what when either of them says something, you can never tell what they can never really tell what the other necessarily means in the moment. So I like how we did get this moment of calm for both Anna and Yo to just be themselves and finally like say everything they've been feeling, everything that's on their mind, and everything they just haven't said either. Like this was really an episode where we got to see Anna truly vent and once again proving something that the reboot has over the original is we are seeing a lot more of Anna's insecurities and just in general her overall vulnerable side and seeing how and seeing and just through and how just through her outburst that Yo truly is the first to show any sort of compassion towards her, and even more so seeing just how trapped she has felt up to this point, being granted the power she has. Now granted, I think the Seiyu could have gone a little emotionally harder with Anna's outburst in this episode, but it is still revealing just how jaded and broken she basically had become because of House Curse, and just how much Yo and Masamune had given her hope again, and just allowing her to feel alive with that singular promise of becoming Shaman King, which Yo's little promise of becoming Shaman King and basically and sealing away her curse or whatnot. That is definitely a little bit more tragically poetic when you look at the present, now that Yo has essentially broken his promise and stepped away from the Shaman tournament. So, yeah, I mean, I guess in some way it also is setting up he'll still find a way to break that curse, but it's like he did break his promise to become Shaman King. And the episode ends where we see the old man again willing to offer his help to Yo at the end of the episode, which, yeah, I have to say, for a one-off character whose role was so small you'd probably barely remember him, after this, the series has made the most out of this character in so very little time he's had on screen, and it's too bad that like Masamune, we're likely not to see him again after this, because I absolutely, in the short time we've seen him, I absolutely love this character. Like, he's quirky, he's badass, he's calm, he's cool, collected. He's truly just that wise and cool old man character that you instantly connect with and want to see more of. Now, if there was one other problem I think I should quickly mention with this episode, or at least one that I noticed, is that it looked like there were more than a couple times throughout watching where the animation definitely felt like it cut more than a couple corners this week. And it's not necessarily something I can necessarily point out at any specific moment, but I could just tell something was definitely off with the animation this episode. Like, it wasn't even bad, but something didn't feel right either. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much all I got for this review. If you enjoyed the video, like, comment, subscribe. Follow me on Twitter and on Crunchyroll. Be sure to hit the notification bell, hit the subscribe button, and just share the video. And guys, Dark Knight Divinity signing off. Later, everyone.